Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And I'm speaking to you here from the state of California. And in this video, we're going to talk about the current state of the state of California in 2023. No pun intended. So, just to kind of tell you a little bit about myself, I left California pretty much permanently around 2015 for, quote, better pastures in Georgia. And I remember when I went to Georgia for the first time, I was like really amazed, just like, wow, everything's so better here. Like, everything's so awesome. Like there's so much less traffic, the cost of living is lower, the home prices were lower. I remember like seeing homes for going for 200, 300K that in California were probably like 600 or 700K at the time. Or maybe even a million. I don't know. I don't remember the home prices back in California back then, but I do remember that I was just amazed how like everything seems so much better, right? And I was like, well, I got to move here. Like I just fell in love with it. And were there some things that I missed about California? I think at that point in my at that time in my life, I was just so disillusioned that I just feel like there was nothing for me, right? I think the final straw, to be honest, it wasn't that I couldn't find a job or make money. The final straw was just seeing all the people around me um, basically playing charades. And what I mean by that is you ever meet people where like they're so obsessed with like cultivating this Instagram, TikTok, or social media persona or like kind of this image where their life is better than yours, right? And because they're so obsessed with that, they're never going to help you when you're down, and they almost make fun of you that you can't make it, even though no one else is really making it, and they're not making it either. You ever deal with that? Well, I had to deal with. I just felt like that's what I was dealing with, and I was just like, screw this. If there's no, community support or it's like, why do I know any of you? And that's why I just decided to leave because it's like, well, if in Georgia I make absolutely no friends and there's no support, well, at least it's in an area where I didn't grow up in, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but I have this social expectation that if I'm going to spend time with a group of people, that they're actually going to support me. If I'm not, it's like, why do I even know you, right? Am I just wasting my time with you? And so that's one of the reasons I decided to leave. Now, here's the thing: even though things were getting bad even back then, people kind of look down upon you for leaving because of this bias, this cultural bias called the California dream, right? So, what's the California dream? Basically, it's this idea that if you want to jumpstart your life or reinvent yourself or experience great things like Silicon Valley, Hollywood, all these other things, the great weather, then you come to California, right? That's where you come to jumpstart your life, and now that I think people understand that the California dream isn't there anymore. It's been mismanaged. It's people are leaving, and people have been leaving for quite some time. Especially since 2019, 2020, right? 2019, 2020. That's when people have really been leaving in droves. And one of the things I do want to mention is that here in YouTube, I remember in 2015, there were almost no videos about how California sector are leaving California. And now in 2023, there are just so many videos produced in the last couple of years, especially since 2020, last 3 years about people leaving California. I don't remember any time in the history of the country when I grew up, or not in the country, in the state, where people left the state. Like if you left the state, you were weird or you're a loser. Like why would you leave? And this is something that Adam Carolla really talked about too. Like he's leaving California because it's just been mismanaged, and there's a lot of reasons why, right? But what I want to show here is just how everybody is. There's so much media nowadays about people leaving California, right? So California lost 650,000 people leaving California. 4 out of 10 people leaving. Dark side of California. Ooh, look at that. Something weird is happening in California. Population decline. Leave California. This video may trigger you. High crime and homelessness. Is Santa Monica safe? California is fun. Again, it's endless. But back in 2015, you could never find videos like this, right? Worst towns to living in California. Um, the new reality in California. Oh, look at that. It's gross. It was a disaster. Now, again, I'm going to be upfront and real with you. I'm not in, even though I'm in California right now, I'm in like the $1 million areas, right? So I'm kind of shielded away from this. But just as a state, the state as a whole, um, you know, if you're just the average person, let's say you're 18 years old and you're just trying to make it here, I would just recommend that you visit and then you don't live here, right? But this is my favorite. California driver leaves car door open to deter thieves. I love that one, right? Who doesn't want to leave their car door open to deter thieves? So again, things have changed. I'll leave it up to you to decide if the California dream is dead. But you know what? Let's do this. Let's ask our good friend ChatGPT, what is the California dream, right? So let's go ahead and do that. What is the California dream? Okay. And so, right. So here, opportunity, prosperity, mild climate, natural beauty, innovation, creativity, cultural diversity and tolerance, freedom and individualism. I don't know about you, but I don't think leaving your car door open so that thieves are deterred is fits any of these. But at least we got a good explanation about what the California dream is supposed to be. So let me ask this: if an 18-year-old were to move, uh, actually, let me just say this: is home ownership part of the California dream? Yes. Okay, so ChatGPT says yes, home ownership is a part of the California dream. Now, let me ask this. If an 18-year-old were to move from out of state to California with no money, would it be easier to buy a home within a few years in the 1950s versus today? So let's see what ChatGPT says. So it says, there's a lot of stuff there because I think ChatGPT tries to be a little bit neutral or as neutral as possible. It's like, here's the key points to consider, right? Um, it says, in summary, while buying a home with no money is a challenging prospect in any era, the housing market conditions and economic circumstances in the 1950s might have provided a relatively more favorable environment for young individuals. In contrast, the present day challenges of high housing costs and more stringent lending criteria may make it more difficult for an 18-year-old with no money to purchase a home in California. Folks, times have changed, right? If you're 18 and you're thinking of coming here because you're going to make it to be a Hollywood actor, I got sorry news for you. Hollywood doesn't even film here, right? And that's been true for a long time. You know where Hollywood films? In Georgia, right? Hollywood had, yeah. This is I had came to this realization when I like moved to Georgia, like, hey, it's so good here. Even Hollywood realizes it, which is why they're filming here. That's what I realized, right? But again, I think it's like a big combination of things where not only the economic landscape is bad, but I think the reason why California is not a fit place, maybe it's a nice place to visit because, like, I step outside of my house, again, I'm in a $1 million area, literally a $1 million area, which means that in other places that's a $200,000, $300,000 area. But I step outside my house and I see uh, gas stations right next to a boba store. So like cool things like that, even though I don't really drink boba, right? But that's what California provides. It's got In and Out, even though it's been more than 10 years since I've been to In and Out. But what makes this place so bad is that people here are delusional and think that even now that the good times are going to last forever. Like people here are in their 30s and 40s living with their parents or renting an apartment, no chance of home ownership, and they could just move to a couple states away and they'd actually have stuff. And I'm not saying like having stuff is like the ultimate goal, but if you want to live with your parents in your 30s, and this is not, we're not in one of those cultures where you have a multi-generational household. And I don't think cultures that were traditionally like that are even like that anymore. But you have no chance of making it here if your goal is to quote make it. Like you could easily like be a YouTube star in like some rural county, because even the rural counties nowadays have like super fast internet, and all you have to do is just network with the right people to like video editors and all that, like do fiber or something, and hire the right people to create and kick off your YouTube channel, right? So makes no, I don't know. I don't know about you, but I don't think it really makes sense to stay here. Again, it's a nice place to visit. California's got a lot of good things going on for it. I'm not gonna lie, like, but for the vast majority of people, it's not going to be a place where you make it and you'll probably regret staying here, right? No joke. Unless you're like the you know, rich people for what am I saying? Unless you're the mega rich from like another country who probably wants to store their like cash in real estate for whatever reason. This is why like home prices, one of the reasons why home prices so high inflated here. But really, like if you're just a normal person trying to make it, and you're like quote a native here like I am, no way you're gonna get two homes, right? Like no way you're gonna buy like your own personal residence and even a rental home. And the funny thing is like the way that I'm comparing myself nowadays is that for someone who grows up in California, that would be like an amazing achievement to like own two homes, right? Because I'm so surrounded by like real estate investors and like instructors who have like 300 home rental homes. Like I'm trying to. I don't see myself as a person who's really achieved that much, just because like I'm surrounded by people who have achieved a lot more than me, right? And if you're in California, you're probably not going to be around people. I'm just talking about your average Californian who has rental properties, who has real estate, who has I don't know anything, right? It's all going to go once the paycheck comes in. You're going to be just over broke, and all that money is going to just go to the higher cost of living here. All right, so it's enough of me rambling. Hope this was a fruitful discussion. Are you from California, or did you recently leave California? What do you think? Leave a comment below, and if you're outside of California, maybe you might have a problem of too many Californians moving to your state and just jacking up the prices, or changing the political environment and voting away that traditionally the area hasn't been voting, kind of like Texas, right? I heard like Texas is actually going to turn purple because of all the Californianites moving to Austin. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I think, for me, in the place that I grew up, which is California, the fact that it's changed so much and nobody cares is kind of like one of the reasons that I left. And so hopefully some of you in other states aren't actually experiencing that. Okay, all right. So this is it for this video. Have a great day. And also, if you're interested in joining our group, go ahead and click the Google form link below, and we'll get on a one-on-one Zoom call and talk about your goals and needs and all that good stuff. All right. Have a great day, everybody. We'll speak next time.